he does with his live sparring or live grappling. He just got beat up by a guy who's been there for only 3 months or 4 months. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not good for that student's, he's not going to feel good about himself. So that's why the testing and the ranking system is so important. So now, to start the test, every test I start with a speech. And I start the speech with explaining how the test is going to be run. So, I'll give you a sample right now. Alright, well, attention. Okay, so anyone's here first time testing? And I get someone that says their first time. I go, alright, well, this is how the test is going to be run. We have 3 categories. We have our striking, our wrestling, and our grappling. We're gonna first do a 3-minute round of shadow to loosen up, and they're gonna be tested on each category one by one. You're gonna be graded in each category separately, and your final grade is gonna be whatever the lowest grade is of those 3 things. So if you get an A in striking, an A in wrestling, but a C in grappling, then your final grade is a C. Our philosophy in this gym is that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And if you do not know how to grapple and someone takes you down, then you're only as good in that fight as you are in that element. Same thing with your striking, same thing with your wrestling. Now, for those of you that said it's your first time testing today, we're going to give you extra leniency. We do this as a tradition so that, if you're a little bit nervous and stuff, it's very normal. I've had serious fighters be completely paralyzed the first time they tested. The toughest guys get paralyzed the first time they test. And that's why us understanding how you are going through this the first time, there's a big leniency in your first time testing. So that's a sample speech. Now, we do give a leniency, and it's for the reason I just said, because people do get very nervous. The first time we started a testing system, we had belt ranking, but we didn't have a testing actual system, which is kind of like most schools do, that when they feel ready, they promote them. And one of my top brown belts, after the first test, and he's like, now he's a black belt now, and he's one of my first students. I consider him like perfect student, like he knows all my moves perfectly, everything, competitor, all that stuff. And he's a serious guy. He's 40 years old. He's not like a kid or anything like that. He's a serious guy. And after the first test we did, he told me, "Man, Master Marcos, I'm so glad it was over. You know why? I was so nervous." This guy has done MMA fights and stuff, and he's so nervous. So you take that into consideration. For the first test, I always let them know it's lenient. I'm very lenient. I'm usually be like a full grade letter, sometimes even 2 full grade letters lenient. Because my goal with the first test is to get them to come back to the next test. See what I'm saying? So very lenient with the testing. Now, make sure that there's no talking going on during the test. Sometimes people try to talk to each other, give each other hints. Like a guy's messing up a move, I tell him, you gotta move your hips out this way. Make sure they all know there's no talking, and don't allow the talking. And tell them, no hints, okay? Now, if there's people that are not getting graded, that they're just in the class to do the drilling and stuff, I'll put them to a separate side of the room where I tell them you guys can whisper and help each other out, because if they're not being graded, it doesn't matter. Also, as I mentioned earlier, don't give approval to people's moves. Like some guy will try to come over, look at you, don't give them an approval, just walk away. Let them be a little nervous, let them be on edge. Now, at the end of the test, there should be sparring. If you're in MMA gym, it's MMA sparring. If you don't want it to start from the feet just because it's a big class and just not the mood, at least starting from the knees but with MMA gloves. If you're jiu-jitsu school, then it should be live grappling at the end. Just like always though, you ask if anyone's injured. If someone's injured, do not make them spar. It's not mandatory to spar. It's just, if they can, it's good. It's a good way to end the class. Now when they're done, you'll line them up by belt rank and read off their grades. And just read it off. A, B, B, C, whatever. But give pause between each grade so people can applaud for them. Back in the day, I used to say what they did wrong, between each thing, but it would take too long. So now I just read the grades off in one shot, and afterwards I can do mat chats, sniper chats, or I can tell everybody, hey, if you want to know what marks you missed, just come to me after class. And that way, it doesn't take forever to read through all the grades, and there's no public correction. You just tell them, hey, if you want to know what you did wrong, come meet with me. So for the MMA schools out there that have been thinking about doing MMA ranking and are curious with the way we do it, I'll explain you our system. When we started out, we had no ranking system, but then I started seeing the need for a ranking system for all the reasons we've been talking about, that we talked about in earlier DVDs too. So we started the ranking system, and we chose to go with white, blue, purple, brown, black, simply because that's the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ranking system. And since our guys compete a lot in grappling, remember my brother and I are ACC veterans, so we have a heavy grappling competition culture in the school, along with MMA. But we do have a lot. We're mainly an MMA competition school. Like we have more guys fighting MMA than competing grappling, but we have a lot of people that do compete grappling. So that being said, it made more sense to be able to use a system that's congruent with jiu-jitsu, so when we go to tournaments and stuff, it's easier for people to gauge how they are compared to others. Like if you're a purple belt in my school, you're expected to be able to beat or hang with a purple belt of another school in the grappling tournament. But if I had you some other color like green, it's kind of hard to gauge how you're supposed to do against the opposition. And also when we do matchmaking for grappling matches and stuff, it's just a lot easier. Things are a lot easier. Matchmaking even for MMA, where we all can talk in terms that we can relate to each other with. So for us, our blue belts, purple belts, brown belts, etc. are as good as their jiu-jitsu counterparts when it comes to no-gi grappling. Now on top of that, they're expected to know how to wrestle and expected to know how to strike. So I consider our MMA ranking a harder rank to achieve than no-gi jiu-jitsu ranking, because our guys have to learn everything that the no-gi guys have in jiu-jitsu along with wrestling and striking. Now, now some people are going to come to the gym and not want to do striking and not want to do wrestling, which is why I propose you will have a gi program on the side. We have a gi program that's on the side that's once a week, that for the guys that just want to do only jiu-jitsu. And the gi ranking is completely different from our MMA ranking. So we have guys that are purple belts or brown belts in our MMA ranking system, which we call the freestyle fighting system, who are only blue belts with the gi. So the gi runs completely separate from the MMA ranking system. Now, how do we decide who gets promoted and all that stuff? When they come for the test, they get a grade like A, B, C, D, or F, and we do the A is worth 4 points, B 3 points, C 2 points, just like in school. Now we tell all the students that when they get 48 points is when they get put into consideration for promotion. Keyword's consideration. Just because you get 48 points doesn't mean I'm handcuffed that to promote you now. It just means that now I will actually consider you. So this eliminates that people like to go, hey, how close am I to getting promoted? Or are you going to promote me soon? Or what are you going to get promoted? Because to me, we had a problem where we had students that they were only trained for 3 months and they were asking about their blue belt. Or students that hardly ever come, they've been here for a year and a half, but they come once a month and ask them about their blue belt. And they're upset that other people got their blue belt. So what this does, it eliminates that. Because now, it's like, well, how many points do you have? So they're not going to come to you with these discussions until they at least get 48 points. Now 48 points means that the shortest amount of time they can get this is a year. And that's assuming that they get all A's, meaning perfect scores all the way down. If they get B's, it's going to take longer. If they get C's, it'll take longer. If they miss a couple of tests, it'll take longer. So picture the most dedicated student you have that knows everything, that comes to every class. A year is about normally blue belt time. So it makes sense. Now, does that mean you can't promote people earlier in the year? No, you can promote a guy earlier in the year. Why not? It's your school. But the general guideline now is that 48 points is the normal guideline. So now when they get to 48 points, so it means consideration. And now is when you have serious discussion with him if you want to, hey, look, you're doing this, but I need you to work on this one thing before I promote you. And that's a good way of having it. So just a guideline. Now, you can use this system in conjunction with your stripe system. If you have a gi, we're putting your stripes on the belts, you can use this system in conjunction with that. For the MMA guys, it's harder to put because we can't really put stripes on anything. But I see Master Lloyd now, I'm thinking about implementing this at my gym. For his women-only boot camp, he's got a system where they get promoted with stars. And he has a heat press machine. And they add the stars on the t-shirts here. So I'm thinking about putting stripes here to symbolize that. Or something that we're working on right now at the time of this video. We're thinking about getting like baseball tees, like they're a white shirt but black sleeves, meaning like a stripe, or a blue shirt with black sleeves, or a purple shirt with black sleeves. And the black sleeves means you have a stripe. And I'm thinking about doing that as a halfway mark. So I can't put many stripes, but it's better than none. So a guy that's from white belt to blue belt, there's a halfway mark now, so which is the black sleeve shirt. And then from blue to purple, there's a halfway mark now, which is the the black sleeve. So these are ideas that you could take into consideration for your testing system. Now, another thing that I have to emphasize, because it's really nice with the gi schools that you can put a stripe in their belt and stuff, and they go home with something like that. For the no gi guys, back in the day, we used to just say the grade out loud. You got an A, and they go okay, and they walk away. And it's kind of the equivalent of going to a grappling tournament, winning first place, and the guy, the promoter, just says, "Nice job," gives you a high five. You want a medal, right? You want a medal to take home to symbolize. You go home with something to show you won first place. Well, so what we're gonna do, what I'm proposing for you guys, we do this already, is you have like a report card. So when the thing's done, when the test is done, you have a little thing with his name and stuff, and you put the grade and you give it to him, and it has his point tally on there. So while they're doing the sparring or while they're testing, you just get one of your assistants to go to the computer, add everybody's point tallies in there, and then you just add the new grade in there with the point tally. So you're like, okay, you have 40 points right now. You have X amount of points right now, and here's your grade. So they have something tangible to take home with them. It makes a big difference. So you put the date and stuff on the thing of when they got that card, and some guys collect them and stuff. It's a nice thing to use. Now, when a test is ended and you feel like there's someone that's ready to get the promotion, don't promote them yet. What you do is when the test ends, you read all the grades. You say, "John Smith, you will be testing for blue belt next month." And then everyone gives an applause. So now what happens is, it's really a formality, but what happens is now you've guaranteed the student's going to come consistently for the next month. And for the entire month, he's going to train really hard, be very excited for a whole month about getting promoted. And you can use this as a promotional thing. You can announce it to people. "Hey guys, next week, John's testing for his blue belt. Give him a hand. Hey, everybody come and support John for his blue belt." And when you get to higher up promotions like purple, brown, and black, it could be a really big deal. For us, I'm going to go over what we do in a bit for the promotions for the higher belts, but you're going to see it's a spectacle. And by having this, like you're going to test next month kind of thing going on, it gives you time to build it up and build the testing culture. Because in the beginning, you don't have a testing culture. No one's going to show up to the tests. You're going to start with 4 guys, 5 guys, and being able to announce every class that so-and-so's testing in 2 weeks or 1 week now, or next Friday he's testing for his blue belt, it creates that culture of testing and getting promoted. And like I said, for that whole month, that student's be one step closer to black belt. Now, if you were just to see and you think he's ready to go, "John, blue belt," like he's gonna get the same excitement that he would have got next month. But now you missed a whole month of like that Christmas kind of feeling. Can't wait for Christmas kind of feeling. Now, this is not a requirement at all. This is just a taste thing. But we haze our guys when they get promoted, right? When we promote people to blue belt or purple belt or brown belt or black belt, it gets exponentially rougher per belt. And for a blue belt, we do like a little hazing where we get them in full sparring gear, and we have different people jumping in MMA sparring them, like 30-second goes, 1 minute goes, different people boom, 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 coming in, jumping them. And the idea is not to hurt him. They're not going to go hard on him. The idea is to wear him out, though. Like by the time they're done, we always do this on purpose. The last person we throw in is a girl, and you'll have the girl wrecking him, double legging him, beating him up on the ground and stuff because he's so gassed, And that's over like looking more to wear them out, not hurt them. Okay, the emphasis is never to hurt them. Even though, like I mentioned earlier, Charles broke 2 ribs in one of them, but it's not. That's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be with hard shots. It's supposed to be just to wear him out and give him a nice feeling of a rite of passage. Okay, I believe in the hazing because it's like it gives us more, again, it's about the sense of accomplishment, and when it's done, it's like a rite of passage that they brag about to the other color belts about the time they got their blue belt and the gauntlet they went through. Now sometimes you have a guy up for promotion that's already injured, like when I promoted Jason the purple belt, he had I think he had a broken rib or something. Like he had a problem that he definitely could not spar. So for those guys, we do a gauntlet where we make 2 lines, and he has to go through the 2 lines, and everyone takes off their shirts and whips them with their shirts. In Jiu-Jitsu, they use the belts, and we just make a rule that no one can hit him in the face, and he has to walk it. He can't run it. He has to walk through there, and we pelt him over and over and over. And I think for him, we did 10 lines. You could probably see it on YouTube. to get an idea. If you want to see the kind of hazings we do, just go to on YouTube and type FFA belt promotion, and you'll see all the different belt promotions we've had. And for Jason, you can type Jason Soares, Soares, and belt promotion or purple belt or something like that, and you'll see the what I'm talking about with the shirts, the whipping. So after they've gone through either the whipping or the sparring gauntlet is when they're ready to get promoted. So now we make a big deal of this. I make a big announcement, guys, we have a new blue belt in the house, and everyone applauds. And at this point, I tell them, get on your knees, sir. And they get on their knees, and they're huffing and puffing, they're drenched in sweat. And this is when I make a little speech about the person. This person's been with me for a while now, very proud of him, he did this, he did that, he overcame this. Because sometimes you have a guy that went through a car accident and came back, you know, you have different stories, and if you know him, it's nice to bring it out. And he's overcome a lot, and now I'm very, very proud to promote him to the rank of blue belt. And I get behind him and ask him, sir, raise your arms, because we don't have gi. That's why I said it's good for the no gi guys to hear our version, because we don't have belts. So, oh, raise your arms, sir. So on his knees, he raises his arms. I pull his shirt off, and with his arms still up, I've gotten good at this. It takes a little technique, but you put the shirt on over the arms, and you pull it down, and you put their shirt on for them. And I come around while he's still on his knees. I get on my knees, and we bow to each other. Then we stand up, we bow one more time, and then I hug him and say, guys, welcome to newest blue belt, and everyone comes in and huddles in and gives them high fives and stuff. And then we go, okay, now we have one more tradition. Everyone gets one throw, and it's the last part of the hazing. He gets one throw now as a blue belt. And most people come with just polite little takedowns. Some people just do a little double leg takedown instead of a throw and stuff. But there's always like 2 or 3 guys that will come and lay him out with a huge throw or suplex or something. And it's part of the laughter. People laugh. It's part of the whole hazing process. You know, getting the throws. Now, like I said though, if you don't feel comfortable with any of this hazing stuff and it's not part of your style, you definitely 1000% do not have to do it. And it's nothing that's going to make a big difference. We do it if we like it. I believe in it, but you don't have to do it. Now, I video record all belt promotions. I get one of these flip cameras. I video record the whole thing, and I make a little highlight kind of video of it. Like I'll show little parts of the sparring, and I show the entire ceremony, and we show everybody giving the throws and everybody celebrating with him. It's a big part of the ceremony. You got to make sure that when you videotape this thing, that you edit it fast, okay, and put it on your Facebook, on YouTube, email it to all the students, and get a guy the recognition while he's still excited. Don't wait like 2 weeks later to send it out. It works so much better honestly if you edit it that night. That's what I do. I edit it that night and upload it that night. So like that guy gets to his Facebook, and before he can even like post to his buddies that he got blue belt, I already tag him with a video on his page so everyone can see it. And they love it, and it's a great. This also does what? Gives the student tons of recognition they deserve for their promotion. And 2, it adds to the testing culture, because now you emailed all the students, they've all seen the video, and they all want to be that next person to get their blue belt, and they know that the way to get that blue belt is to get the test. Now, once everybody finishes their throws, now we line up at belt rank. And now the person that got their new belt will line up with the new belts. This is a huge part of them getting promoted. Now they don't line up with the white belts anymore. And he lines up with the blue belts for the first time. Like all those times of being in the back row, bowing to them, now he's with the blue belts. It's huge. That's why you don't want to have that one line. You want to have the multiple lines. Whites, blues, purples, browns, blacks. So now you read off all the grades, you give a speech, you blow up your newest guy, give him a hand, all that stuff, okay? And then you bow everybody. Once everyone bows at the same time together, bang, okay, now you ask everyone, let's come bring it in. It's the only time we mix the two traditions, and we do the testing. And the reason why is I want to have an excuse to line everybody up. That's why I do it. I mix the 2 traditions because I want to have an excuse to line them up so that I can have the guy now in the new line. So we'll do one bow together, come in, and then bring it in, and then 1, 2, 3, FFA. And now, once we're finished with that, if it's a purple belt or higher, I make a big deal out of it. What I mean by big deal, we have a party, and I have the food ready. Like they know it's happening. That's why it's good to announce that in advance when you have a purple belt that's going to be testing. like for his, I mean, you have a guy testing for his purple belt, because the whole month you're talking about it, and you pump up this party, and we'll have tables along the side. We'll have chairs for people to come watch, like guests to come watch and support. And we'll have tables with little like appetizers and food and stuff and drinks. And once he gets promoted, I open up a bottle of Dom Perignon. It's a $100 bottle. Bang! You know, make a big deal out of it. Take pictures together. Put it on video. It's a huge part of it. Now, what you're doing when you do this, you're showing your students how important their belt promotion is to you. And it should be important. The blue belt